Dangerously in Love. Episode 26. A letter from the past. The truth about the night everything changed. The room was completely silent. Sia stared at the envelope in her hands. To my daughter, Sia. The handwriting was elegant, gentle, beautiful, and for the first time in her life, it belonged to someone she could call mom. Tears blurred her vision. Across the room, Vikram stood quietly, giving her space, giving her time. Slowly, Sia opened the letter. The paper had yellowed with age, but the words remained untouched. And as she began reading, it felt as though her mother was speaking directly to her. My dearest Sia, if you are reading this, then it means I am no longer there to hold your hand. A tear slipped down Sia's cheek. First, I need you to know something very important. You were loved from the moment you entered this world. You were wanted. You were cherished. And nothing that happened afterward was ever your fault. Sia covered her mouth, trying not to cry, failing completely. The letter continued. Your father and I made mistakes. We trusted people we shouldn't have trusted. And because of those mistakes, dangerous enemies entered our lives. Sia's heart tightened. Dangerous enemies. The same words Rudra had hinted at. The same mystery surrounding her parents' deaths. Then came the sentence that changed everything. The accident that took us from you was not an accident. The paper slipped from Sia's hands. No. Her voice shook. No. Vikram closed his eyes. Because he already knew. And had hoped she wouldn't discover it this way. With trembling fingers, Sia picked up the letter again. Someone wanted information your father refused to give. When he refused, they came after us. The room felt colder, much colder. Then came the final page, the last message her mother ever wrote. If you are reading this, then it means you survived. And if you survived, then our greatest wish came true. Live freely. Laugh loudly. Love fearlessly. And never let grief steal your happiness. A tear landed on the paper, then another, then another. One day you will meet people who choose you. Trust them. Especially the ones who stay when life becomes difficult. Those are your real family. The final line was written slightly unevenly, as if her mother had been running out of time. We love you forever. Mom and Dad. The letter ended, but Sia couldn't stop crying, because for 22 years, she had wondered, and now she finally knew. Her parents had loved her, completely, unconditionally. They hadn't abandoned her, they had lost her, and that knowledge broke her heart. And healed it. At the same time, hours later, Sia sat alone in the garden. The letter resting in her lap, the evening breeze gently moved through the trees, then footsteps approached Advik, without saying a word. He sat beside her. After a long silence, she handed him the letter. He read it carefully. Respectfully, when he finished, his eyes softened. Your mother sounds amazing. A small smile appeared on Sia's face. Yeah, she does. For a few moments, neither spoke. Then Advik noticed something folded inside the envelope. A second piece of paper, smaller. Hidden, neither had seen it before. Confused, Sia unfolded it. Her eyes widened instantly. Because it wasn't a letter. It was a map. An old hand-drawn map, leading to a location outside the city. And written underneath were 6 words. The truth is buried here. Both froze, because suddenly, this wasn't just about the past anymore. It was about a secret someone had hidden for over 20 years, and whatever waited at the end of that map might finally explain everything. Dangerously in Love. Episode 27, The Hidden Truth, A Journey into the Past. The map lay open on the table. Neither Sia nor Advik spoke. At the bottom of the page were 6 words. Asterisk, asterisk, the truth is buried here. Asterisk, asterisk, a chill ran through Sia. What does it mean? Advik studied the faded markings. I think we're about to find out. The location pointed to an abandoned estate on the outskirts of the city. A place that no longer appeared on modern maps. A place forgotten by almost everyone, almost. Vikram recognized it immediately. His face turned pale. No. Sia looked up. You know this place? Vikram nodded slowly. It belonged to your father. The room fell silent. My father? For years, he used it as a private retreat. Vikram swallowed hard. After his death, nobody ever went back. Why not? His answer came quietly. Because it hurt too much. The next morning, Sia and Advik set out together. Despite her protests, Vikram insisted on sending security. Sia complained the entire drive. Do I really need 4 cars following us? Yes. Why? Advik didn't even look up from the road. Because trouble follows you. That's rude. It's accurate. She sighed dramatically. Unfortunately. He was right. Hours later, they arrived. The estate stood hidden behind overgrown trees. Nature had nearly swallowed it. Broken gates. Cracked stone walls. Dust-covered windows. A forgotten memory. Yet somehow, Sia felt connected to it. As if part of her had been waiting to return. Slowly, they stepped inside. The house was frozen in time. Old furniture. Family photographs. Bookshelves. Paintings and memories. So many memories. Sia stopped in front of a framed photograph. A smiling couple stood together, young. Happy. In love, her parents, for the first time. She saw herself in them, the same eyes. The same smile. Tears filled her eyes. Advik quietly stood beside her, never rushing. Never pushing. Just there, always there. Hours passed as they searched the estate. Nothing. No clues. No secrets. No answers, until Sia noticed something unusual. A symbol, carved into the back of an old fireplace. The exact same symbol drawn on the map. Advik. Immediately, he joined her. Together they examined the stonework. Then he spotted it. A hidden mechanism, with a sharp click. The fireplace shifted, revealing a concealed chamber. Sia froze. Oh my God! Inside sat a single wooden chest, covered in dust, untouched for decades. The chest had been waiting for her. With trembling hands, Sia opened it. Inside were dozens of documents. Photographs. Journals. Letters, and one black leather file. Across the front, written in her father's handwriting. If you found this, the truth can no longer stay hidden. The air seemed to leave the room, slowly. She opened the file. The first page contained a list of names, businessmen, politicians, powerful people. Many were crossed out. Some were marked in red. Then came a sentence. A sentence that changed everything. Rudra Khanna was innocent. Silence, complete silence. Sia looked at Advik. Advik looked at Sia. Because if this was true, then someone else had framed Rudra. Someone far more dangerous. Someone who had escaped punishment for 20 years. Then a photograph slipped from the file, landing on the floor. Sia picked it up and froze. Her hands started shaking, because standing beside her father, beside Rudra, beside Vikram, was a fourth man, smiling, trusted, respected, someone still connected to both families today, someone nobody had ever suspected, and written beneath the photograph, in her father's handwriting, were 4 chilling words. The real traitor. Dangerously in love. Episode 28. The real traitor, a trusted face unmasked. The photograph trembled in Sia's hands. Her heartbeat thundered in her ears. Beneath the smiling faces of her father, Rudra, and Vikram stood a fourth man, a man both families trusted, a man still welcomed into their homes, a man nobody had ever suspected. And beneath the photograph were four words, the real traitor. Slowly, Sia turned the photograph over. On the back was a name, Rajveer Malhotra. The room fell silent. Advik stared at the photograph, his expression hardening instantly because he knew that name. Everyone did. Rajveer Malhotra, founder of the powerful Malhotra Group, one of the most respected businessmen in the country, and Arav Malhotra's father. No, Sia whispered. This can't be real. But deep down, neither of them believed that anymore. The evidence was becoming impossible to ignore. Inside the chest were more documents, financial records, private letters, hidden contracts. One document stood out, a signed agreement showing money secretly transferred through shell companies connected directly to Rajveer Malhotra, not Rudra Khanna. Rajveer. For 20 years, the wrong man had carried the blame, and the real culprit had built an empire. Hours later, Advik, Sia, Vikram, and Rudra gathered at the Roy mansion. The evidence lay spread across a long table, and nobody spoke because the truth was devastating. Finally, Rudra broke the silence. I told you. His voice wasn't angry anymore, just tired, very tired. For 20 years I told everyone I was innocent. Vikram lowered his head. Shame filled the room because he remembered the accusations, the broken friendship, the day they turned their backs on Rudra. And now they knew they had been wrong. Sia looked at Rudra. I'm sorry. The older man smiled sadly. You have nothing to apologize for. Then he gently placed a hand on her shoulder. Your parents would be proud of you. Tears filled her eyes. For the first time, she believed him. Suddenly, Advik's phone rang. Rohan. Advik answered immediately. What happened? The voice on the other end sounded urgent. Sir. What? We have a problem. Every person in the room became alert. What kind of problem? A long pause. Then, Rajveer Malhotra disappeared this morning. Silence. What? His private jet left the country. The room froze because innocent people don't run. Guilty people do. And Rajveer had run. But the shock wasn't over. Rohan's voice returned. There is something else. Advik's stomach tightened. What? His son didn't leave. Arav is still here. Across the room, Sia and Advik exchanged a look. Neither liked what that meant because Arav had recently entered their lives, very recently, too recently, as if someone had planned it. Then another message arrived on Advik's phone. An anonymous text. Only one sentence. The son should not pay for the sins of the father. Everyone stared because whoever sent it knew everything. And they were still watching. Far across the city, Arav Malhotra stood alone on a balcony, looking at a photograph of his father. His expression was unreadable. Then he quietly said, I told you this would happen. The wind carried his words away. And for the first time, it became clear. Arav had known something all along. The question was he trying to stop his father, or protect him? Dangerously in love. Episode 29, Arav's Secret, An Unexpected Ally. The Roy mansion remained silent. Everyone was still processing the same fact. Rajveer Malhotra had disappeared, and Arav Malhotra had stayed behind. It didn't make sense. Unless Arav wasn't running. He was waiting. The next morning, Advik received a message from an unknown number, meet me. Alone. 11 a.m. Skyline Cafe. Arav. Rohan nearly had a heart attack. Absolutely not. Advik looked up. Why? Because this is how people end up kidnapped. That's dramatic. It's accurate. Advik ignored him, as usual. At exactly 11 a.m., he entered the cafe. Arav was already there, calm, waiting, and looking like a man who hadn't slept all night. For several moments, neither spoke. Then Arav placed a thick folder on the table. My father is guilty. Advik froze. That was not the opening statement he expected. What? Arav's expression remained grim. I found evidence years ago. The cafe suddenly felt very quiet. How long have you known? 3 years. Advik stared. 3 years of carrying that secret. 3 years of knowing his father wasn't the man everyone believed him to be. Why didn't you tell anyone? Arav laughed bitterly. Would you have believed me? Advik didn't answer, because he honestly didn't know. Arav slid the folder across the table. Inside were financial records, private emails, and hidden transactions, enough evidence to destroy Rajveer Malhotra forever. I've been collecting proof. Why? Arav looked out the window. Because despite everything, Rajveer was still his father, and that hurt. A son wants to believe the best about his family. For the first time, Advik understood him completely, because he would have done the same. Then Arav said something unexpected. I'm not your enemy. Silence. I never was. Back at the Roy mansion, Sia was pacing, very dramatically, very loudly, and driving everyone crazy. Relax. I am relaxed. Vikram looked at her. No, you're not. Fine. She wasn't, because Advik had been gone for 2 hours, and she hated waiting. Suddenly the front doors opened. Advik entered. Arav entered behind him. The entire room froze instantly. Nobody knew what to do, especially Arav, because half the room looked ready to throw him out and the other half looked ready to interrogate him. Before anyone says anything, Arav began, my father framed Rudra Khanna. Silence. Complete silence. Then he placed the evidence on the table, one by one, document after document, proof, undeniable proof. As everyone examined the files, the truth became impossible to deny. Rajveer Malhotra had stolen the money, manipulated the records, destroyed Rudra's reputation, and caused the chain of events that eventually led to Sia's parents being targeted. Tears filled Vikram's eyes, because after 20 years, the truth had finally surfaced. Rudra sat quietly, almost emotionless, as if he had waited too long to celebrate. Then Arav looked directly at Sia. I'm sorry. The room turned toward him. I can't change what my father did. His voice was sincere. But I am sorry. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Sia nodded, a small nod, but enough, because she could see the pain in his eyes and she knew he wasn't responsible for his father's choices. Suddenly, a phone rang. Unknown number. Vikram answered. Immediately, his face drained of color. What? The room fell silent. Slowly, he lowered the phone, his hands shaking. Rajveer has contacted us. Everyone stood. What did he say? Vikram swallowed, then whispered the words. He wants to surrender. Shock swept through the room. But then came the second part, the part that changed everything. He says he has information about who really ordered Sia's parents' deaths. Silence. Because according to everything they knew, Rajveer was the villain. Yet now he was claiming there was someone above him, someone even more dangerous, someone nobody had ever seen coming. Dangerously in love. Episode 30, The Final Mastermind, The Truth Behind Everything. The room fell silent. Rajveer Malhotra wanted to surrender. But that wasn't what shocked everyone. It was his final message: I didn't order their deaths. Sia stared at Vikram. What does that mean? Nobody knew. And that was terrifying. The next morning, a heavily guarded meeting was arranged at a secure government safe house. Present were Advik Raijada, Sia Roy, Vikram Roy, Rudra Khanna, Arav Malhotra, and Rajveer Malhotra. For the first time in years, Rajveer entered the room looking older, tired, defeated, and broken, nothing like the powerful businessman everyone remembered. His eyes immediately found Arav, his son, and for a moment neither of them spoke. Then Rajveer looked away, shame winning the battle. Finally, he sat down and spoke. I framed Rudra. Nobody reacted. They already knew. I stole the money. Still no reaction. They knew that too. Then he took a deep breath. But I didn't kill Sia's parents. The room froze. What? Sia whispered. Rajveer looked directly at her, and for the first time his voice contained genuine regret. Your parents died because they discovered something. What? A criminal network. Silence. Years ago, several powerful businessmen had secretly funded illegal operations through fake companies, including money laundering, blackmail, and corruption. Rajveer had participated, but he wasn't the leader, not even close. He was merely one of many. Then Sia's father uncovered everything, every name, every transaction, every secret. He planned to expose them. Rajveer closed his eyes. And that's when they decided he had to disappear. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Who? Advik asked. Rajveer's answer came quietly. One name, one impossible name, one person nobody expected. Arjun Mehra. The room exploded. No. Vikram stood instantly. That's impossible. Because Arjun Mehra wasn't just a businessman. He was family. A trusted family friend. The man who attended every major event. The man who comforted everyone after Sia's parents died. The man who helped raise Sia. The man she called Uncle Arjun. No, Sia whispered. No. But Rajveer nodded. He built everything. The network. The corruption. The cover-ups. And when your parents learned the truth, his voice broke. He ordered the hit. Sia felt her entire world tilt again. Another person she trusted. Another lie. Another betrayal. Tears filled her eyes, and Advik immediately reached for her hand, holding it tightly, grounding her, keeping her steady, because she looked seconds away from collapsing. Then Rajveer handed over a final folder containing evidence, recordings, bank transfers, and witness statements, enough to destroy Arjun Mehra forever. Suddenly, a phone vibrated. Unknown number. Advik answered. A calm voice spoke. Hello, Advik. The entire room froze because everyone recognized the voice. Arjun Mehra. The mastermind himself. I see. Rajveer finally talked. Advik's jaw tightened. Where are you? Arjun laughed, a cold, dangerous laugh. Does it matter? Then his voice softened, almost sadly. You know, I genuinely liked Sia. Every person in the room felt sick because that somehow made it worse. Then came the final sentence, The sentence that changed everything. I'm not running. Silence. What? I'm waiting. The call ended. Immediately afterward, a message arrived with a location, an abandoned coastal estate, the place where everything had begun 22 years ago. And beneath it were 5 simple words, "Come hear the full truth." The final confrontation had arrived. And this time, there would be no more secrets, no more lies, no more hidden enemies. Only the truth.
Thanks for listening. Stay updated for next part. Don't forget to subscribe and comment.